Bryce, though, has a long and storied career in anime. Like I said, Attack on Titan, Demon Slayer. Why don't you just rattle off a couple of other of your more favorite roles that you have done?
Sure. So sorry if I leave some out. You might know me as Kirito in Sword Art Online. You might know me as Meliodas and Zeldris in the Seven Deadly Sins. Something that's not technically anime, but a lot of anime fans love. I'm Cat Noir in Miraculous Ladybug. Gotta love that guy and the cat puns, because I sneak them in the show. Yes! Rin Okumura in Blue Exorcist. And the list kind of goes on and on. Wikipedia knows much better than I do, actually.
Thank goodness for IMDb.
Yeah. So.
Do you think Inosuke is sometimes sympathetic for the demons?
Ooh, that's an interesting one. I'm not sure yet. Inosuke is a tough nut to crack. It seems like through this story, how we've seen him so far, he's matured quite a bit. It seems like he's open to exploring these other things and learning more about these other people and not just headbutting them right off the bat when he meets them. But I don't know about the demons. He seems pretty set on slicing them up at this point in the story. And who's read the manga? Who's read Demon Slayer? A few people. Awesome. My method is not to look forward and not read the manga. What you guys might not know is we don't practice before we get into the booth. The first time we see the words that we're supposed to say and actually say those words is in the moment of recording. So I try not to look forward or make any decisions or fall in love with a moment in the manga that might not get animated. I try to just jump in the booth and live as that character right as I'm recording as them. And when you're doing that for Inosuke, it's really fun. And I have tricks to help me do it. The one I want to share with you guys is drinking extremely dark coffee. So you might notice Inosuke's voice is a little deeper than my own. So I use this trick to help maintain that deep range. So I get the most disgusting cup of coffee possible. Darkest, like strongest, bitterest, the kind where you take a sip and it just makes you angry. So like
that's what I drink normally, but
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So your morning cup of joe. So you take a sip and you're just like, so I do that between every single take. We get beeps as we're recording, so that tells you when to start your line. So you get beep, 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 and then you talk. So they actually record under those beeps. So if you listen back to an unedited version of one of my recording sessions, you'd hear. That's what it sounds like. So good times. Lots of coffee.
So, who do you think Inosuke's favorite person is?
Inosuke's favorite person? I mean, himself? I think he loves himself. If you would ask him at this point in the story who his favorite person is, he would say, Inosuke.
Fair answer, and extremely accurate in my opinion.
Who's your favorite character to voice act?
I've gotten this question a number of times. It's so difficult to answer because I've been so fortunate to work on some really, really cool franchises and really, really cool characters. And it's so difficult to book work as a voice actor. I always tell people that are aspiring voice actors, if you book 1 out of 100 auditions, you're doing extremely well.
Does it hurt you to say, whoa, she's just a friend?
I think it hurts everyone else, and that's why I love it. So, for you guys, who has never heard of Miraculous Ladybug? Who's never seen it? Wow, you guys love Miraculous. That's awesome. Thank you guys for watching. For you guys who don't know, in the show, there's what we call a love square.
A love square.
And yeah, it's very detailed and complicated. And now there's kind of like people pulling the people in the square to other directions, which is very fun to see. But I don't think, and for me, as a fan of the show also, I ship the whole square.
Yes.
So anytime we're outside of that square, You know, I know it hurts. And I love being part of causing that pain. So I was at an event called San Diego Comic-Con with the cast of Miraculous Ladybug, and we were doing a live script reading on that panel. And I looked through, I'm like, wow, my contribution to these scenes is very light. I had maybe 2 or 3 lines, but one of the lines was, Marinette, she's just a friend. And the whole crowd goes, oh! And it was great.
If you could be in any of the shows that you have voiced in, which one would it be?
Like physically be as me in the show, not Attack on Titan. I think, can I pick from a video game as well? Because I worked on, and you guys might not have known this, I worked on a video game called Disney Princess Palace Pets. Where
Whoa. What system, what gen was this one?
This is a mobile game.
Okay.
And in this mobile game of Disney Princess Palace Pets, you can pick your favorite pet, of which my favorite is me, Sultan, Jasmine's tiger. And what you can do is you can comb his hair and give him a bath. That's what I'd like.
Disney Palace Princess Pets.
Disney Princess Palace Pets.
If you could voice any female character in Attack on Titan, which one would it be, and could you do an impression of her?
Oh my goodness. So I get to voice a female character. I mean,
Who are you going to try to put out of a job?
wow, there's a lot of great female characters in the show, but I think one of the most fun would be Sasha.
Oh my god.
Yeah. How can I do an impression of Sasha? I don't know. Potatoes.
Yeah.
Hi, I just want to say I love you so much, and I'm so glad I'm able to come here and meet you.
Thank you.
What is your favorite fight scene you've had to voice?
Wow, there's some really, really good ones. I mean,
I can't believe this is the most I can stream.
lots as Kirito. Those were very fun. I mean, Tanjiro fighting Inosuke, where he like bends backwards through his legs. Look what else I can do! love that fight scene. All the action scenes in Attack on Titan. I think the moment of that show. Oh, before I say this, who's never seen Attack on Titan? You guys have no idea what the show is about or haven't seen it. Cool. Yeah, you should check it out. It's like a light comedy. You should just watch it.
It's almost, but not quite as funny as Madoka Magica.
Yeah. I mean, you could call it a slice of life show.
Oh my god.
Hair on comedy.
Yeah. Slice of life, man. Right?
Just landed.
But episode 5 of Attack on Titan, where that happens, just that rage and that moment and that
Donna, you're gonna
passion
cry.
so-
What on earth?
and the list keeps going on. I keep describing, other moments. Oh, another one. Like every battle in the Fate series, in Heaven's Feel and Unlimited Blade Works, I play Shiro Emiya. All of those are just so beautiful. I'm a big fan of Ufotable, who animates Fate, but also Demon Slayer. Their animation is incredible, and I think watching that animation on a big screen, was anyone able to go see the movie in theaters?
I wish.
Few people? Awesome. I mean, that's the way to appreciate that art, with the sound around you and just immersing yourself in such beautiful animation is the right way to do it. It's Ganpachiro Kamaboko. What's your question?
I just want to say thank you for being here, for one. It's a pleasure to be in your presence.
Thanks,
Second
man.
would be, what is your favorite anime as you voice so many characters? I'd like to know your opinion.
What is your favorite anime?
Yeah, I mean, like growing up, what are some of the shows I liked, or like currently, what's the thing I'm watching right now?
I can't post. There's no way I can get
Well, I've been a fan of. They usually don't let us touch the microphones. That's why we're breaking this thing. I've been a fan of Attack on Titan since before I knew I could audition for the show. I would have been happy playing guy who gets stepped on by Titan. So, I mean, I've been a huge
I
fan
can't
of that
color
show
see.
and that franchise since the beginning. So
Also, hide that
I've not
thing.
read the manga. I have no idea what's about
Bro.
to happen. I'm dying for the end of the show. It's so bittersweet because I love portraying this character.
No, he doesn't know what's in the
And it's
manga.
been so fun
dying to
and so
know.
challenging in many different
Bro.
ways, and I'm just really proud of.
Bro,
What was
Zeke,
your
yalla.
favorite anime growing up?
Yeah, I grew up in the era of Sailor Moon and Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z, and it is so incredible to be at an event with actors that were part of my childhood. Like, it is a trip to be
can't get it.
signing next to them and have become friends with them. It is so cool.
You voiced Caesar in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. How was that experience for you with the Italian accent and everything?
Very fun. Not an authentic Italian accent. Sorry, everybody. When I got the audition for the show, I'm a big fan of cartoons. I was watching Family Guy. It was the episode of Family Guy where Peter does a very bad Italian accent, where he's like, boop-a-da-bop-a-da-beep. So I did that in my audition, and they're like, this guy! And really, I brought that Family Guy-inspired Italian accent to the show. And it's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, so it fit in right perfectly. Yeah, it's always fun to be a muscular man that shoots bubbles. Good times.
Do you ship Eren and Mikasa, and how do you feel about the way Eren treats Mikasa?
Ooh, Attack on Titan shipping.
Hold on. We made it a whole 22 minutes without a shipping question.
We've done pretty well for ourselves.
There you go, and now we're here.
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know if I ship them. I've played Eren to this point as talking to Mikasa as a sibling, someone he cares so deeply about. Now, if that love is going to change into something else, yet to be seen. I don't know what happens. Yeah, I'm not sure. It was so funny. I was on a interview with Trina, who plays Mikasa, and they were asking about that, and particularly about a moment at the end of season 2 where Eren is wrapping his scarf and says that, you know, I'll always wrap my scarf around you, Mikasa. And it slows time down, and it's just them. And Trina was like, yeah, I think that there's something romantic here. And I was like, what? Really? And I think that's what Eren does too. He would just be like, huh? So it went whoop right over my head. Didn't catch that detail. We'll see if things change. About how he's treating her.
No.
Oh. There's a scene that we recorded, and as the words were coming out of my mouth, I felt terrible. And after saying it, both Mike McFarlane, the director, and I were like, oh! And I love it so much. It's a great thing about being an actor. You say things and do these things that you wouldn't do or say as a person, and you have to just embody and feel what that character is feeling at that moment. So, for me, it's really interesting because I don't understand fully why he's saying that. I just know he's hurting her. He's saying something horrible. So I said it in a way that hurt me to say it.
Hello, man of many names and many voices.
We just call him Bryce.
Yeah,
Sure. Hi, Bryce.
Let's go by Bryce.
What are some of the strangest lines that you recorded or heard or read?
The strangest lines that you've had to utter while voice acting as characters, anime or video game.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some random ones that I've said, and I don't tend to be like, oh, this is weird or get embarrassed. Like, I love those moments. I think they're kind of funny. One kind of really strange character that I didn't understand until, like, we really dug in a bit. Has anyone played the game Fire Emblem Awakening? A few people, okay. I play a character named Henry, so I went, yay, blood! He's an evil Elmo. So, like, until we went through that process, I was so confused. It was so strange to be so happy about all this dark stuff. But that's Henry, and I love it.
You share a lot of roles with Yuki Kaji, and so my question is, are you friends with any of your Japanese voice actor counterparts?
You know, it's pretty rare to be able to talk to or meet your Seiyu counterpart, but I've been extremely fortunate to meet 3 separate counterparts from Japan. I've met Nobu, who voices Reno Kumura, and very recently I've been cast in a new show as a character named Liba, if you guys are familiar with him, in a show called Black Clover. Really excited about that role. I've met Matsuoka-san, who plays Inosuke and Kirito, and we've hung out a number of times. I've moderated his panels. I've been really lucky to be on panels with him.
Wow.
Incredible actor. And I've met Kaji-san. I happened to be at an event called Anime Expo in Los Angeles, and Kaji-san was there as well. And we did a 7 Deadly Sins panel because we share Meliodas and Zeldris. And of course an Attack on Titan panel. And this was right as season 3 was coming out. And it was so interesting because we did a couple interviews and I was listening to him speak, and we just have a lot in common and approach the character in a very similar way. And of course, I really love his work. I took a lot of inspiration from him. I mean, talk about someone who screams a lot. I thought I screamed a lot. This guy. So it was really cool to have that experience. And know that, like, they're understanding the appreciation from North America as well. That we love anime and we love what's coming out of Japan and these stories, and we're celebrating them as well. And for them to kind of acknowledge the English dub is so cool. It's an honor. When I was hanging out with Kaji-san, he had a big entourage with him, including like a camera crew, and they filmed a lot of our interactions, and those went to the Blu-ray of Attack on Titan, sold only in Japan. And I think I'm one of the rare actors that has been featured in something like that. So it's really cool to have those opportunities. They are super rare. Now, my hope, and I talked to Kaji-san about this, and he said, if you ever come to Japan, you should come and see what we do in Japan. So it's a goal of mine. I would love to make it to Japan at some point, see the country, and who knows, maybe get invited in to see the way they do things there. It would be such a great experience.
So you haven't been to Japan yet?
Never. You know, unfortunately, and COVID, I was in talks, very close to going to an event in Okinawa.
Okay.
You know, signed and ready to go and planned, and the pandemic hit and they had to cancel everything. And then the following year, cancel everything. So we'll see. You know, I hope I get that opportunity. It's kind of far.
Well, as things are opening up, are you familiar with the attraction now at Universal Studios there?
I've seen some pictures. I mean, it's so cool. I wish they would do that in North America.
For those of you not familiar, there's a Demon Slayer attraction currently running at Universal in Japan. So, life goals. There we go. Go over there, and do some theme parking.
I saw someone, and I don't know if she's here. She came through my line today, and she actually had one of the Inosuke hats from. Hey, right there. Yes.
There you go.
Oh my gosh! So they ordered that Inosuke head covering from Japan. That's what it looks like. And it's so fun. It looks so warm and comfy.
Do you have a favorite Inosuke line, or what is it?
I have many favorite Inosuke lines. I mean, and I love saying this to people at the convention. Fight me! Fight me!
Security loves him.
Yeah, they do. Also, there's a moment where they're talking to the crow, and he goes, "Let's eat this thing." I just love that because I see him eating the crow. you'd probably enjoy it.
I'm curious, just because you've done so many roles where you have to yell and scream,
Yes.
what is the longest amount of time that you just had to be in the booth screaming for?
So it's hard to compare because there's a lot of screaming with a lot of different roles. Kirito speaks in screaming, and we used to save the last 15 minutes of every session just to scream, to get that right sound just right. Because when you're done doing that, you can barely talk. Aaron Yeager, of course, speaks in screaming. Inosuke, very recently, I was working on the Demon Slayer video game that Sega released. And when you work in anime, there's like a slower pace because they have to line things up. You're watching the picture, you're talking as your character's talking on screen. So you go line by line. It's not a fast process. With a video game, it's very different. You have a script of tons of lines. You give maybe an A and a B if they like it, meaning 2 takes. If they like it, they go, great, move on. If they don't, they direct you and then you do it again. So with Inosuke in the video game, it was like, loud attack. Great, next one. Very loud attack. You know, over and over and over and over for hours and hours and hours. Yeah, I drink a lot of coffee.
Now, when you get home, are you? And I've talked to other voice actors say this. Are you silent? Like does your wife or anybody try to talk to you? Just do a lot of like when you're done after a day like that. What's your regimen?
It's tough because I have 3 kids. I've had another kid since I've seen you last.
It's been that long.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you guys. And you know, I actually come from a family of actors and voice actors. My dad was an extremely loud person, much louder than me. I think I'm a pretty loud person, and I've now passed that to my kids. They're really loud. So I typically have to
Honey,
yell.
I'm going to a convention. You stay here.
Yeah. You know where they are. I can hear them here at the convention from home. That's why I had to build that professional sound studio, by the way, because my kids were in all my tapes. So yeah, typically with the loud kids at home, I have to maintain the loudness to be loud enough for anyone to hear me over the loud kids. Yeah.
My question is, if you were to collaborate 2 of the animes that you worked on together, which one would they be?
Ooh, so I get to combine 2 animes? Actually, like, that kind of happens sometimes. It just happened recently in a video game and an anime. Has anyone played Tales of Arise? Awesome. So if you're familiar with the Tales series, this is the newest installment in that series. The game is incredible. I've never seen a Tales game like this. I was lucky enough to be part of the main crew. I play a character called Law. Very different from the other character I played in the Tales series, Asbel Want. With Asbel, he was all about protect and friendship, and Law is about punching and meat. So it's very different. And Kirito from Sword Art Online actually decides to play Tales of Arise and shows up in the world of Tales of Arise, and Law and Kirito battle it out. So I got to fight myself. It was the best surprise ever. So those kind of crossing of worlds and crossing of like genres too, like that's so cool. I love how that happened.
I want Cat Noir in Attack on Titan.
You know, he might do pretty well because he can throw himself up high to get by their necks. He's got some claws that are sharp.
All right, you guys have exactly 1 year for when we start doing conventions next year to make that fan art happen.
Yes, yes.
No pressure.
And I just see him, you know, launching himself and going, whee! And killing Titans. By the way, if you guys have noticed that Cat Noir does that, it's because I did it as a joke. And they're like, that's funny, put it in the show. And now he does it all the time.
How many times have you lost your voice due to screaming?
A handful of times. I definitely have lost it working on Sword Art Online. I actually could barely talk after an episode of Attack on Titan Junior High, which we called Attack on Titan Muppet Babies, and that takes the intensity of Attack on Titan and goes up even higher. Could barely talk. And after my first day recording Inosuke, I could barely talk. So it's happened a lot. I've also worked on military games where you cannot hold back. You can't yell grenade and just fake that. You have to really scream those things. So I've worked on things like Call of Duty and lost my voice recording those games. So yeah, it's been a number of times. And because I scream so much, I kind of know when it's going to happen and try to avoid it as much as possible, but sometimes it's just unavoidable. You have to take yourself there for the art and for it to be right for these characters. And I'm willing to do that. I'm open to do that, and I actually love being able to put that passion into it. So I just hope I don't over scream, but I think I'm good. I got some ways to go in my screaming. I'm conditioned at this point.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bryce Papenbrook.
Thank you so much, everybody.
5 kilometers.
Okay.
بتاكل الطاجين؟
No, شغلة I don't know what it's gonna be. Dad, it's Levi! You got lucky, girl. Everything you wanted to work. It's fine. And then the high Q one. كان بدي اجيب اكتر بس قلت انه that's enough يعني عشان شو بدي اعلقهم قد ما في. Okay, I'm excited. It's Bokuto. ما تبكي ما تبكي.
تصوري لي؟ طبعا صوتي انا؟ يلا ما اسالك.
جرسك مرة ثانية. Cute. I got another Funko. كان بدي اجيب an Avatar one بس خلص.
طب هذا منه عند
Hot Topic لا. ما ينفعش تشدني انا بهوت توبيك.